Hey guys, in this video we're going to start learning about Pandas. Pandas is an open source Python library for data analysis. It's a very powerful library. Um, Python in general has always been great, for manipulating data, but Pandas makes it even more powerful. Pandas is very fast, it's very quick because it's built on top of NumPy, a library that we covered over the past few videos. So it's quite fast and it has two data structures, one called series and one called data frame. We will be heavily using data frames, but it's not harm if we have a look at series. So a series, it can be thought of as a one-dimensional object array. It's a one-dimensional array or list or basically a column in a table, but it can have labels. I don't think I spoke about labeled arrays in my NumPy videos. So labeled arrays or labeled columns or vectors are sort of one-dimensional indexed arrays where in addition to the index of each element can have a name, so we can access that element either by its index or by its name. And series or data frames can be created in different ways. So one thing we can do is, for example, if we wanted to create a simple series, if you look at my Python notebook, I named it Pandas intro. I can of course need to import Pandas, and amongst the community, it's standard to import Pandas as PD, and we also import NumPy as NP, and then do Shift Enter to import. So that's successful. And then to create a series, one thing we can do is, for example, we say my series equals pd.se. If I do se and then press tab, it auto completes series, and then I pass it, for example, a list of elements like 1, 2, 3, and then a string. Notice the elements don't have to be of the same type. It can be integer, floats, strings. There can be numbers or strings. Negative or positive. It doesn't really matter, right? And then if I do Shift Enter, if I now try to access my series, then it can be, as you can see, it's a one-dimensional data structure with indices from 1 to 6. And by the way, there's a function called type in Python that we can use to check the type of something. So if I do my series, then it tells me it's of type pandas.co.series. Okay, so series is a one-dimensional object array, and it can have different arrays. And one interesting thing about series is that when we create it, if we go back here, so how many elements do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can actually add, say, comma, index equals, and I can add an array of indices, something like A, B, C, D, E, and F. If I execute that and then now look at my series, then I can access the first element by saying my series. So we can do 0 or we can do A, because it's the index now has a name. So this is what I meant by a named array, right? It's quite easy to understand and to use. And then you can add to that maybe, for example, instead of passing a list or a list of the elements and an index as a list, we can also create a series by passing a dictionary. So I can remove this, and then I can pass a dictionary, and then say maybe the first element London, and value maybe 10, and then maybe Tripoli, that's where I'm from, value 100, much better than London. And I can say, for example, Cairo, value of, let's say, 10. And I do Shift Enter. Now my series looks like something like that. Cairo, London, Tripoli. Don't worry about the order, because usually dictionaries don't care about the order, because we can access elements via the keys. So what I can say here is, if I say my series with Cairo, I should get back 10. If I say Tripoli, I should get back 100, right? So it's a sort of key value pairs, right? These names work as key values, and they work as keys, I'm sorry, and the values are these elements, right? The elements of the array itself. Okay, and then we can also we can do things like logical operations. So if I want, for example, the city that has let's say this number more than 10, so one thing I can filter by saying my series, and then here by saying my series where the value is more than 10, I do shift enter and I get back Tripoli only. So I hope that makes sense, the way we can filter this series. We will see more of this in the coming videos when we start to to use pandas heavily. But let's stop here. We had a quick look at series, and in the next video we'll start using data frames and do much more interesting stuff. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.